Hello. Welcome to your body. Welcome to your space. This is a full body relaxing meditation, so make yourself comfortable. If you're getting ready to go to bed, you can simply lie down on your bed. Or if it's sometime during the middle of the day, maybe lay down on your couch as long as you support maybe your knees and your head, or lay out your yoga mat and put some support underneath the knees, like roll up a blanket and maybe a pillow under your head. Once you've laid down completely, take a moment and hug your knees into your chest. And just give them a little squeeze. And maybe even rock to the right just a little bit, as if you're massaging that lower back right hip area. And take a breath there. And then rock to the left a little bit, as if you're giving a little massage to that left lower hip back area, and give a breath. Take a breath there. You could rock back and forth from side to side a couple more times, and slowly, if you're doing that, make yourself slow down that rocking until you're back into neutral. Go ahead and give one more little hug to the knees, and then give it a nice stretch. You can certainly bend your knees, put your feet flat, or you can make your legs straight. Reach your arms up and overhead, reach through the fingers, reach through the toes. Even here, you could stretch to the right a little bit by lengthening through the left arm and reaching the left big toe away. You'll kind of curve to the right. And then you can stretch to the left a little bit by stretching through those right fingertips, lengthening through the right big toes. You'll kind of curve your body to the left. And then stretch in neutral. Reach through both hands, both arms, all 10 fingers, all 10 toes. Take a deep breath. And then as you exhale, release. Let your legs relax, either supported by a blanket under your knees, or you can keep your knees bent if that's better on your back. And let your head relax. And then one more time, reach through the right arm. Turn the palm up towards the ceiling or the sky. Reach through the thumb, reach through the index finger, reach through the middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. Stretch that right arm way out. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, drop your chin away from the right arm towards your inner left shoulder. Take a gentle inhale. Exhale completely. Lower your chin back into center. Relax the right arm. And then switch. Stretch through the left arm now. Turn the palm up to face the sky or the ceiling, and then stretch through the left thumb. Stretch through the left index finger. Stretch through the left middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. Take a deep breath. And then drop your chin away from the left arm towards the inner right shoulder. Another gentle inhale. As you exhale, soften the head, the chin back into neutral. Soften your left arm. And now just notice your breath. Allow it to become quieter, softer. And don't make yourself uncomfortable at all. If your body wants to breathe deep, by all means do it, but do it with less force, less intensity, as if you're allowing the breath to become its own master here. The mind is no longer directing it, so the breath can relax completely. Or you can simply soften it a shade, and then soften it another shade, and then soften it another shade. And once the breath feels relaxed, notice perhaps just the very so subtle rise and fall of the chest and maybe of the navel as you gently inhale and exhale. And now bringing your awareness to your body so that we can relax the entire body. Start with the right big toe. Feel where that right big toe is in space. Keep your eyes closed. You could stretch it, you could wiggle it, and consciously relax it. And then move your awareness into all the toes on the right foot to get to the right pinky, and consciously maybe stretch if you want, wiggle, but then relax every single toe. And now draw your awareness to the right arch of the foot, the inner arch and the outer arch. Relax the arches of that right foot. Relax the right ankle, and relax even through the right heel. And draw your awareness now to the left leg. Become aware of the left big toe. You can wiggle or stretch it and consciously relax that left big toe. And move your awareness all the way through all the toes until you get to the left pinky toe, relaxing every single one. Now relax the arch of the left foot, inner arch and outer arch. Relax through the left ankle and through the left heel. Move your awareness back to the right side. Relax the calf muscle on the right leg. Notice how the back of the calf, where it's thicker, sometimes gets tense as we walk. Relax it completely. Imagine the front of the calf, the shin, completely relaxing. And imagine the side of the calf, that outer shin area, completely relaxing. Even draw your awareness into the right kneecap. You could flex it and clench it if you want for a moment, if you want to feel it tense, and then consciously relax it completely. And bring your awareness now to the left side. Relax the left calf muscle completely, the back of the calf, the entire back of the calf. And then relax the front, the shin, and relax the sides of that calf, the outer shin. Move your awareness to the left kneecap itself. Consciously tighten it if you wish to feel it, and then relax it completely. Back to the right leg now. Notice your quadricep, those 4 muscles that stretch from the kneecap all the way along the front of the thigh, and they connect up into the hip. Relax the quads, every single one. Relax and soften now the inner right thigh. From the inner knee, follow your awareness up the inner thigh all the way to the inner groin. Soften that entire area. Soften the outer right thigh from the outer right knee all the way up into that outer right hip. Soften completely. Imagine the muscles in that right leg are so heavy, it's almost like magnificent drapes in a ballroom. They just hang. They're not stiff. They're not crunched up. They just hang. Allow the muscles to just hang over the bone. And that right hamstring. Relax now the back of the right thigh from the back of the kneecap all the way in towards the sit bone, close to the glute. And as the entire right leg, those muscles relax, notice how the femur descends. The head of the femur up in the hip socket will lower down towards the hamstring, towards the floor, towards the ground. Moving to the left side now, consciously relax the left quadricep, all 4 muscles of the quad from the knees all the way to the hip. Relax the entire quad. Relax the inner left thigh from the inner left knee. Track your awareness up the inner thigh to the inner left groin. Relax it completely. Relax now the outer left thigh from the outer knee to the outer hip completely. And the left hamstring from the back of the knee. Track your awareness up the back of the leg, up into the sit bone glute area. Relax it completely. And imagine now that ballroom, that image of these heavy, magnificent drapes. They just hang effortlessly, gracefully. And as the muscles of the left thigh relax, allow the head of the left femur up in the hip socket to soften and move down, move towards the hamstring. Allow it to descend. Draw your awareness now to the hip bones. Those bony protrusions on the front of the pelvis, the ASIS. And imagine those hip bones are moving towards each other, almost like you very gently wrapped a sash or a belt around the sacrum, that triangular bone at the back of the body, and brought the hip bones a little closer together, like you're tying that sash around the navel. Allow those hip bones to gently buckle. Feel how the sacrum widens, and this will relax your low back. Relax now the area in between the hip bones, the muscles of the lower belly. Digestive organs, imagine them relaxing. Visualize the muscular lining of the pelvic floor. Imagine that relaxing. It's shaped like a hammock. You can almost imagine that hammock becoming just a little heavier, a little relaxed, not tense, not tight. And then finally, relax the sacrum itself. If you could relax a bone, that triangular shaped bone, relax the bone. Relax the glutes that support this entire space. Your bum muscles, relax the glutes. Draw your awareness now a little bit higher up. Continue noticing the back of the body, but move higher up from the sacrum, the low waist. And just above that are the floating ribs. And those bottom floating ribs, they're going to wrap around all the way around the front of the body to the xiphoid process, the lower end of the sternum. So starting from the low back, visualize the spinal column softening. Imagine every vertebrae from the sacrum up towards the low mid-back area just relaxing, softening. Stacking gently and with ease, one over the other. Imagine those bottom ribs wrapping around to the floating ribs, relaxing all the way around. And as they do, there's going to be a sensation of almost widening and creating more space in the erector spinae, those long muscles that run along the spinal column. Often they hold a lot of tension, especially if we're sitting in a rigid space and not seated in an ergonomic manner. Continue awareness up the spine a little higher. Now you're in your mid-spine, and pretty soon you're going to feel the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. Imagine the bottom tips of the shoulder blades widen ever so slightly, almost as if they're creating a little more space along the spinal column. And then ever so gently draw them a little closer in together without squeezing or crunching that area, and then find neutral, where you're neither squeezing in, but you're not widening so much. Too much widening may cause the upper shoulders to round and kind of pull off the spine. We don't want that. We want the shoulder blades almost like plates, flat on the back, but a little bit of space between the bottom tips. And now imagine the very bottom tips of both right and left shoulder blade moving inwards towards the chest cavity, and almost as if they're supporting the heart, metaphorically cupping the heart. Imagine the lungs, the heart, your spleen, your liver, pancreas, gallbladder, all those organs that work so hard. Imagine them also relaxing. Still functioning, in fact, functioning more optimally, but completely relaxed, devoid of stress, devoid of cortisol, devoid of adrenaline. The body relaxes and it regenerates. And you can invite this consciously, or you can just allow it to happen as you relax. Bring your awareness around to the front of the chest now, the sternum bone from the lower end, the xiphoid process, to the upper end where it attaches to the collarbones. Imagine the sternum bone lengthening a little. Imagine in turn the collarbones get a little bit longer. This should relax your shoulder blades down your back a little bit more. Imagine now the head of the left arm, the humerus bone in that shoulder socket, gets a little heavier, almost like it moves away from the shoulder. And that heaviness translates into the muscles of the left arm, the bicep, the tricep, into the left elbow. The left forearm becomes heavier, and the wrist and the fingertips become light. Imagine now the right arm, the humerus bone, the head of that upper arm bone in the shoulder socket relaxes away from the upper shoulder. The muscles in the right arm become heavier, the bicep and the tricep. The right elbow becomes heavier, the right forearm becomes heavier, and the wrists and the fingertips of the right hand relax. Draw your awareness back towards the upper neck, and behind on the back of the neck are the trapezius muscles. Huge muscles. They get tense when we're stressed. So visualize the muscles on the upper back of the neck kind of drifting around towards the clavicles, those collarbones and shoulder blades. Imagine that area completely relaxing. If you habitually hold tension in your neck, soften your chin down slightly towards the chest, lengthen the back of the neck. Not drastically, not forcefully, just maybe a millimeter difference at most. And soften now the muscles on the right side of the neck, the left side of the neck. Moving up a little more, soften the jaw, Move your awareness in towards the outer edges of the jaw as it wraps around towards the ears and that mandible, right? That jaw joint. Soften that area. And draw your awareness to the teeth now, the inside of the mouth. Notice if you're gripping or clenching. Oftentimes it's habitual. It's okay. This is what we're doing. We're noticing and consciously relaxing. Relax the teeth. You could even part the mouth. That'll relax that area. Relax the tongue slightly. If you're nervous at all, just a gently swallow. Swallow, feel the tongue, and then relax it. Relax the upper palate, that roof of the mouth. Imagine it lifting away, upwards, slightly away from the lower palate. Move your awareness back to your nose. Relax the skin over the bridge of the nose and imagine that relaxation drifting across the cheekbones and connecting back with the upper mandible, right? That jaw. Relax the eyes themselves. Imagine the eyeballs slightly become heavier. They move away from the eyelids and back a little towards the brain. Relax the skin on the forehead. Relax the brain matter itself. Imagine the brain moving away from the forehead and towards the back of the skull, almost like it gets heavier. And then finally, relax the skin on the back of the skull. Imagine every single hair follicle, especially on the back of the skull, relaxing. You're free to stay here for as long as you wish. If you're ready to go to sleep, just stop the recording now. If you'd like to get up, slowly start to recognize the breath again. Just notice it. Notice the pattern, the texture, the quality of breath. And begin to slowly, ever gently expand it, drawing your inhale a little deeper in. Exhaling completely. Inhale a little more deeply. Maybe take a gentle stretch. Reach one arm up and over or the other. Reach maybe both arms out to the side. Do what feels natural. Stretch through your legs. And draw your knees into your chest now. Breathe into that low back. Notice if it feels different from when you first started and drew your knees into your chest. And then gently roll over to one side. Use your hands. Keep your head and neck relaxed, almost heavy. Prop yourself back up into a seat. Softly flutter your eyes open. And welcome. Welcome back to your body.